Renaissance in Cinquecento, Italy. By Riccardo Munoz. Historical context. The word Renaissance, which was created in the 16th century, literally means reborn. And it refers to the revival of ancient antiquities' artistic traditions as contrasted to the image of the Dark Middle Ages. Faced with medieval theocentrism, humanism, which was the cultural current that promoted the Renaissance, recovered the anthropocentric culture from antiquity. Renaissance artists. Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci was one of the great masters of the Renaissance, famous as a painter, sculptor, architect, engineer, and scientist. His passion for learning and study was the driving force behind his aesthetic and scientific outlook. His paintings have had a lasting impression on art history, and it was subsequently revealed that many of his scientific thoughts and hypotheses had a basis in actuality. His works of art. Mona Lisa. The Italian Renaissance multi-talented artist Leonardo da Vinci created the portrait of Lisa Gherardini, wife of Francesco del Giocondo, often known as the Mona Lisa. It was purchased by French King Francis I at the start of the 16th century, and the French state has owned it ever since. It can be seen in Paris's Louvre Museum. It is an oil painting measuring 79 by 53 centimeters on a poplar panel that was created between 1503 and 1505 and has undergone numerous revisions by the artist. Although its original color is now less apparent due to the darkening of the varnishes, it is nevertheless regarded as the most successful example of sfumato, a particularly distinctive style of Leonardo. Multiple security measures are in place to safeguard the painting, and it is maintained at a constant temperature for best preservation. The Last Supper. One of the most well-known works of art in the world is Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper, which depicts the final supper between Jesus and his disciples. The painting was created between 1495 and 1498. Leonardo conducted in-depth study to produce an endless number of preliminary designs for the development of this one-of-a-kind piece. Leonardo forgoes the conventional fresco painting technique and paints the scene dry on the refectory wall. The artist's intention to represent the characters in a much more realistic manner with priceless details is evidenced by the discovery of traces of gold and silver metallic foil. It was then revealed that the fresco, which has undergone multiple restorations, eventually deteriorated as a result of climatic and technical problems. Leonardo's Last Supper is located in its original place, on the wall of the dining room of the former Dominican monastery of Santa Maria del Grazie, precisely in the refectory of the convent. Instead of using the method typically used at the time of the fresco, Leonardo created The Last Supper, a massive painting that is 4.60 meters high and 8.80 meters wide. It was created with tempera and oil on a plaster preparation. Madonna of the Rocks. One of Da Vinci's most mysterious pieces, the Virgin of the Rocks, is kept in the Louvre Museum's collection. Not only is the Virgin shown in a rocky refuge, but there are also two, maybe even three different versions of the well-known artwork. It was painted in oils on wood and later transferred to canvas. The meeting between St. John the Baptist and Jesus during his exile in Egypt is reenacted in the tradition known as the Virgin of the Rocks, according to historians. God designated the archangel Uriel as St. John the Baptist's guardian because he was an orphan. Leonardo da Vinci's style of art was very unique, so much so that he created his own technique of sfumato, later known as Leonardo's smoke, to produce his most famous work of art, the Mona Lisa. Other qualities of this painting are the simple dress, the dramatic landscape, the subdued color palette, and the extremely subtle nature of the work. He was also a very versatile artist. Not only did he have different types of paintings in different styles, but he also created a sculpture called The Virgin with the Laughing Child. In this period of time, there were also two well-known artists with very popular works. Raphael Sanzio. Raphael was not only an Italian painter, but also an acclaimed designer and architect, and worked for two of the greatest patrons of his time, Popes Julius II and Pope Leo X. Michelangelo. In addition to being an amazing poet, he was also an outstanding architect. Not just for his sculptures, but also for his incredible pictorial work, Michelangelo was among the greatest painters in the history of world art. His contemporaries revered him in life and referred to him as the divine since he was successful in every task that was given to him. Kings and popes fell in love with his art in both Florence and Rome because to his fixation with perfection, which forced him to never produce anything mediocre. Thank you for watching.